Hello everyone, today we are going to start the topic speed, velocity and acceleration. They are the very important terms in the motion. Okay, so let's start with the speed. Speed, what is the need of the speed? Firstly understand it. Suppose there is a two car A and car B. Okay, car A is moving 400 meter in 5 seconds and car B is moving 200 meter in 3/2 second, means 1.5 second. So which car is moving fast? If we have to decide which car is moving fast, then we have to take the help of the quantity speed. Then we have to find the speed of car A and speed of the car B. Then we can say car A or car B is moving fast or slow. So speed is a thing, speed is a physical quantity which let us know about how any body is moving fast or slow. And it is defined as distance traveled by a body in unit time is called the speed. Means in the unit time, suppose in 1 second the distance covered by any body is called the speed. Suppose there is any car or any motorcycle is covering the 20 meter in 1 second, then its speed will call the 20 meter per second. If a train is covering 50 kilometer in 1 hour, unit time 1 hour, then its speed is said to be 50 kilometer per hour, and it is a scalar quantity. It can be positive or zero. It never be negative. Formula for the speed is distance upon time. Distance is always positive quantity, time is always positive quantity. That's why it is always the positive speed. Okay. Now unit of the speed: CGS system centimeter per second, SI system meter per second. Some other units like kilometer per hour and the miles per hour. Okay. There is one conversion from kilometer per hour to the meter per second. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5/18 meter per second. Okay. Now, types of the speed. The first is the uniform speed. Uniform speed means if the body covers equal distance in equal interval of time, then the speed of the body is said to be uniform speed. For example, suppose there is a car, there is a motorcycle which is covering every 10 meter in 1 second. So it is covering the equal distance in equal interval of time. So the speed of this motorcycle is said to be the uniform speed. Other example, suppose you are moving with the car at the constant fixed speed of the 50 kilometer per hour, that it will also called the uniform speed. Non-uniform speed: if the body covers unequal distances in equal interval of time, that is said to be non-uniform speed. For example, if you are moving in the market, then you will move for the sometime fast, for the sometime slow. It means your speed is varying. You have the variable speed. That is called the non-uniform speed, because you have covered the unequal distances in equal interval of time. When you move fast, then you will cover the greater distance. When you will move slow, then you will cover the smaller distance. That's why it is called the non-uniform speed. Average speed. Suppose you are moving in the market and you start the journey from the home and goes to the market. Then sometime you will move slow, sometime you will move fast. Then what is your total net velocity, net speed of the journey? What is your net speed of the journey, whole journey? That is defined by the average speed. And average speed is the ratio of the total distance to the total time taken. Hence the formula will be average speed equal to total distance upon the total time. Now, instantaneous speed. Firstly, take one example. Suppose the average speed is 50 km per hour. Then it doesn't mean that you have moved with the 50 km per hour constantly all over the journey. Maybe you have moved the slow and maybe you have moved fast than the 50 km per hour for some time. So this average speed is only gives the net, means total speed of the whole journey. It is not giving the speed at the particular time. The speed at the particular instant is called the instantaneous speed, and it is defined as the ratio of distance traveled in an extremely small time interval tending to 0. How it is defined? It is defined as the ratio of the distance which is covered in very small interval of time. Suppose del S is the distance covered in the very small interval of time del T. Then the instantaneous speed is represented by del S upon del T, and we have to show del T is a very small interval. So we will write here limit del T tends to 0, means this interval is very small tending to the 0. So this is the representation of the instantaneous speed. Okay, move to the next topic. There's some examples are given for the average speed, like tortoise has the average speed of 0.06 meter per second. If you convert into kilometer, then it will be this. Human walks 2 meter per second average, or 7.2 kilometer per hour. This is the average speed, and rest are also given. Okay. See this diagram. This diagram you have seen in your car or on the motorcycle. This is called the speedometer. This is called the speedometer. In the speedometer, there is a needle which is showing the instantaneous speed of the car. Means speed of the car at the particular instant. किसी उसी टाइम पर आपकी कार की क्या स्पीड है, इसी को ये बताता है, and that is called the speedometer. So speed of the running car at any instant means instantaneous speed is shown by the instrument called the speedometer. Okay, and there's a one more meter which tell you how much distance is covered by the car. That is called the odometer. The instrument, the distance traveled by the car is measured by another instrument called the odometer. Okay. Now go to the next. Velocity. Velocity means the speed in the particular direction. In the calculation of the speed, we have not mentioned the direction, but if you will add the direction in the speed, then it will become the new quantity called the velocity. Okay, and It is just like the speed. Every definition will be parallel to the speed. Just you have to replace the distance by the displacement. Okay. So, the velocity can be defined as the displacement in unit time. Displacement covered in unit time. Okay, this is called the velocity. Or in another way, it also be defined as the time rate change of displacement is called velocity. Means change of the displacement with respect to time is called the velocity. Velocity can be either positive, 0 or also negative. And velocity is a vector quantity. Formula for the velocity is displacement upon time. CGS unit centimeter per second. SI unit meter per second. Okay. Okay, now I want to tell you something. Suppose a car is moving with the speed of 50 kilometer per hour, okay, in the east direction. Then when you write the speed, then you will say only the 50 kilometer per hour. This is the enough, because speed is a scalar quantity and it has only magnitude. But when you write about the velocity, then you will say 50 kilometer per hour in east direction. This is the compulsory. Why? Because velocity is a vector quantity and it should have the direction also. Now, types of the velocity. First is the uniform velocity. For the uniform velocity, if the body covers equal displacement in equal interval of time, then it will call the uniform velocity. Similarly, non-uniform velocity, if the body covers unequal displacement in equal interval of time, that will call the non-uniform velocity or the variable velocity. Okay? Average velocity, in the same way, velocity for the whole journey, total velocity for the whole journey is called the average velocity, and it is defined as the ratio of the total displacement to the total time taken. Formula is average velocity equal to total displacement upon total time taken. Then instantaneous speed. Okay? It is the velocity of the particle at the given instant. Velocity of the any body at the particular instant is called the instantaneous velocity. And its formula will be, since it is a vector quantity, that's why it is written with the vector sign, is equal to del S. This is a displacement and it is also the vector quantity, that's why I am writing with the vector sign, upon del T. Okay. So, and we have to mention the time interval is very, very small, and the way of mentioning it, limit del T tends to 0. This represents the del T time interval is very, very small, and ratio of the del S upon del T is called the instantaneous velocity. Okay. Since it is a velocity, so it will also have the direction. So direction of the instantaneous velocity is along the tangent of the curve describing the path. Suppose the car is moving on the circular path, and at the some time car is at point P. Then what will be the direction of the instantaneous velocity? Along the tangent. Okay. There's a one note point. Average velocity of a moving body may be equal to 0, but the average speed cannot be equal to 0. How? Take one example. average velocity of an athlete completing one round while running along the circular track is 0. If the displacement in the circular track will be 0 for the one complete round, then the average velocity will be 0. But you are knowing it, speed is not equal to 0. Speed will be the distance upon time. Distance will be the 2 pi r. Okay, so average speed will be not 0, but the average velocity for the journey may be 0. Average velocity you can also be calculated by the final velocity plus initial velocity upon 2. But in this case, the body should move with the uniform rate of change of velocity. If the body is moving with uniform rate of change of velocity, then we can apply this formula. Otherwise, this formula is not, you cannot apply this formula. Your answer will be not correct. But if you have the uniform rate of change of the velocity, then you can apply this formula. Now come to there's one point, rate of change of velocity. Why? What is the rate of change of velocity? Let's discuss it. This is called the acceleration. Rate of change of velocity is called the acceleration. The rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. And formula for the acceleration is change in velocity upon time. Rate of change of displacement is called velocity, and rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. Okay, CGS unit of the acceleration is centimeter per second square, and SI unit is meter per second square. One note point is mentioned here. If the body moving along the with the uniform velocity, then the acceleration is equal to 0. If the body is moving with uniform velocity means constant velocity, right? And constant velocity means velocity does not change. So if the velocity is constant, then the change in the velocity will be 0, and 0 upon time is equal to 0. That's why acceleration will be equal to 0. Okay. Now, types of the acceleration. Parallelly, every definition will be parallel definition. Uniform acceleration, if the equal change in the velocity take place in equal interval of time, then the acceleration is said to be uniform acceleration. Example, if you take the ball and left freely to fall under gravity, then in every second, in 1 second, its velocity will be increased by the 9.8 meter per second square. In every second means there's an equal change in equal time interval. So it will call the uniform acceleration. Non-uniform acceleration, if there's an unequal changes in velocity in equal interval of time. Like you are moving in the market, then with the accelerator in your hand on the motorcycle, sometime you put the high acceleration and sometime you put the low acceleration. It means you are changing the acceleration, and that is called the non-uniform acceleration or variable acceleration. Negative acceleration, this is important. This is also called the retardation. Negative acceleration means if your car is slowing down, if your car slows down, like when you apply the brake, then the speed of the car will decrease. If the speed of the car will decrease, then the formula of the acceleration is A is equal to V minus U upon T. What is V? V is final velocity. And what is U? U is the initial velocity. And what is the time? T is the time interval. Okay? If your car is slowing down, it means your final velocity will be smaller than the initial velocity. If the initial velocity will be greater, then it will be negative. And if it is a negative, then it is called the retardation. If any car, suppose the acceleration is -2 meter per second square, it means your speed is decreasing 2 meter per second square in every second. Minus sign is showing that your speed is decreasing by how much? 2 meter per second in every second, or this is called acceleration. If you talk about the retardation, means negative acceleration, then you can say in my car there is a retardation of the 2 meter per second square. Retardation is already the negative word, so no need to apply the negative sign here. Okay, so this is the topic for today. Thank you very much. See you on the next term.